start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna smoke.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go is perfect.
When they lose their front shoulders, you start, that's how you know they're smoking.
Went about 5-10 more yards. We probably went 20 yards total. Stepped over, tried to get back up. And I saw him pull up.
We rushed 4 meters rods that night. We got like 156 and something like that. And then the next day we came out to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
Assaw, dudes. Welcome to another installment of the White Cat Outdoors podcast. Nick and Tom are both chilling tonight.
What's up, everybody?
Good evening. Nick was saying all kinds of stupid stuff before we started, so I don't know what that was about. But
No.
what are we talking about tonight?
Well, since we got you all here and you're listening, actually, when this what, Tom? You just gave me.
No,
the
you
look.
just, the first thing you did was cleared your throat into the microphone. Like, you think that's what our listeners want?
Yeah, they want a nice clear voice because I was doing the old rock hard radio before we started. So
Yeah, maybe do it before you talk into the mic.
I can cut it out. I won't.
He runs this show.
Yeah. So what we're talking about, Harrisburg starts this week. The biggest outdoor show in the world.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I'm
The
pretty
Great
sure it's
American Outdoor Show.
Yeah, it's a Great American Outdoor Show, sponsored by the NRA, biggest one in the world. Starts Saturday.
Yeah.
So when you're listening to this, it started yesterday. And when you're listening to this, the crew is going to be down in Harrisburg. Not at our
You
own
guys might
booth.
be on your way there.
Yeah, if somebody's, I want to put this out there right now. Leave it in the comments if you guys are going to be in Harrisburg. Like, if you're listening to this on your way to Harrisburg, let us know. Tom will sign in autographs.
We don't have a booth, but if you see us, Tom will sign an autograph.
Yeah, we don't have a booth. I would like to someday. We'll get there. But
that'd be
this
cool.
year, we're just going, checking out. We got some outfitters. Frank's worked with one of the outfitters that's going to be there. A bunch of stuff in the archery hall that we're interested in.
Yep. I'm not working the booth this year, though, so I'm strictly just wandering around.
So it'll be fun. But today we just wanted to break down, what we're looking forward to at the show, what we expect to see, what we want to get more info on, and go from there. So I guess I can start first if you guys want. If somebody else wants to start, they can.
Nick, just dive right in, brother.
So I'm interested in talking to the outfitter Frank's been working with, just because I've considered wanting to maybe be a packer up there. So, I've been asking Frank for months to talk to him. He won't do it. So
He's a tough guy to get a hold of.
So I'm going to go straight to the horse's mouth and settle the score now. Really no score to settle, but I'm still going to go there and talk to him, get that figured out. And then the rest of my time, I'm interested just to hang out in the archery hall. Just outside the archery hall typically is Whitetail Adrenaline, and I always enjoy that booth. It's a huge. It's not even a booth. It's like an entire corner. They've got huge screens showing their DVDs. I do want to pick up a couple DVDs while we're there because I want them for the cabin.
Yeah, those guys do some sweet shit.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's just a ton of footage, just running around with recurves and just launching
Up
arrows.
close.
Yeah, very up close. It's I would say top pin action, but with recurves there's no pin.
Yeah.
So that's ours. But in the archery hall, just want to check out some different things. I want to stop by the Annihilator booth just to see what they got cooking. I don't know if they've got anything new coming up this year, but I'd like
I
to
spent some time talking with those guys. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, but they're cool guys to talk with.
Nice.
They're a good time.
Yeah, I was impressed. What was it? I was down there the year you bought yours, which 2 years ago now.
Did you buy yours down there?
Yeah. The
Yeah,
first, I got some more this year. I bumped up to 125s, and I just bought
Right.
those online. But the first ones that I bought down in Harrisburg.
So did you know about Annihilator before we went to Harrisburg?
No, I actually, we were working the booth that year for Alaska Elite Outfitters, and Brad got up to go walk around just to stretch his legs and do something other than sit there and talk to people. And he came back to the booth and he's like, hey, I was just over, in the archery hall and saw these new broadheads. They look pretty sweet. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go take a look at them here in a little bit whenever I get up to go wander around. And so eventually I did. I made my way over there and I was like, these things are pretty freaking sweet. And I think it was the next day or maybe 2 days later, I thought about it a little bit, did a little bit of research on them because I didn't want to just run
Yeah,
over
you were
and
there
buy
for a
'em.
week, so you
Yeah.
had some time.
So I did some online research. I went over and talked to those guys a couple different times about their stuff and settled on them, and I've been thrilled with them ever since. I put them through some deer, and I love them.
Nice. And it's actually, from what you've done and what the research I've seen, is what led me to buy Annihilators. I went with the XLs. So they're 125 grain, just like yours, but just a little bit bigger head.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. They see, like I said, what I like about them is they, I learned in like emergency responding and that like EMS, EMT stuff, that like triangular cuts and stuff are one of the hardest wounds to close.
Yes.
And when you punch like a triangular hole into an animal, it just creates a very difficult wound channel to close back up.
Yes.
So I like that it's just a hole. And the biggest thing that I didn't realize too is the actual surface area of the cut is actually bigger than any other broadhead on the market, which I thought was insane. Because like you always hear cutting diameter, cutting diameter, cutting diameter, but the surface area that blade cuts out, like if you were to draw, a line around the cutting diameter or whatever, and take the area of the inside of the wound, you're actually creating a bigger wound with an
smaller
Annihilator than
broadhead.
you are like a 2-inch expandable, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to run those through a deer this year. If I get wild, I talk about it every year, but I never do it. Maybe I'll throw it at a turkey. It's just, they're so much fun to shoot with shotguns. It's just tough to
beat.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see them. I believe the other ones that I'm interested in looking, not that I'm interested in buying a new bow because I'm happy with what I've got, but I heard Gearhead is coming out with something new that I haven't seen. Gearhead Archery is like, I don't know if you guys are you familiar with Gearhead?
Not as familiar as
Are you,
you are,
Tom?
but
No.
I know who they are.
So
I know what
Gearhead
they do.
Archery has they're one of the few archery companies out there actually doing something different. Their bows have 18-inch axle-to-axle measurements. They're shoot-through risers. They're just a very
they're goofy
extremely
looking.
compact. They look like nothing else on the market. Like I said, I have no interest in buying one.
And you can shoot stuff there.
Yeah,
they
you can-
have
yeah, you can
targets.
go
I've
test
never
them.
shot one myself, but you and I were not looking at them seriously, but looking at them last
They're just
year.
it's an eye catcher. Like you're walking by,
Like,
and
what
it's,
the hell is
and it's
that?
Hoyt, Elite, Matthews, Prime, Martin, all of them. They all look and resemble a compound bow. They all look very similar. A little bit different cutouts in the riser, but they're all pretty much the same. Gearhead has made this bow that looks nothing like anything else that's out there. So it's just interesting to see stuff like that. And maybe if we got time, I wouldn't mind throwing an arrow through just to see.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be unstable, but I've talked to a few guys that have shot them and they absolutely love them.
Really?
Yeah.
I
It's
feel like the
mostly-
same thing, that it would be unstable, but
It's mostly guys that are saddle hunting and one sticking that it seems like they're switching to it. That the people that are the extremists of lightweight are the
Yeah.
ones that enjoy that bow.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Those
Pretty
people
cool.
I'm always skeptical of. Do you actually love it, or are you just a nut for the weight loss and you're just
Yeah.
saying you love it?
Yeah, it could
You
be.
never know.
What is one sticking? You're
One
What's this-
sticking, it's what it sounds like.
you're
You get-
one stick off the ground.
No, you use that same stick and
To
keep
keep going up.
keep climbing up. You hang yourself from the tree with a rope, not around your neck, but and then you hang one
Move
stick.
your stick
you
up.
climb up that, and then you just kind of hang off the tree, grab the stick from below you, hang it up above you, and just keep going, and then you rappel out of the tree.
It's silly.
It's wild. No interest in it, but
Yeah.
How do you rappel out of the tree?
with rope. I think you have to be an Eagle Scout to do it. But
It's the one qualification for one stick.
yeah, I don't really know. I'm a terrible person to explain it. The guys that enjoy it, the guys that do it seem to like it, but I don't mind when my sticks weigh 1.5 pounds. I don't care to carry an extra 3.
Yeah, it's
not a
not
big
like
deal.
you're breaking your back carrying 4 sticks.
No, I have enough on my gut that I could lose to offset the weight. I could actually be down to no weight, like in
Yeah.
my setup. I could lose the difference. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that doesn't really. It's wild, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of neat. Then another thing I'm not interested in purchasing, but just interested to see the innovation and engineering behind it. Lone Wolf Custom Gear, sorry, has the climber, I believe, that they're going to have down there. Like I said, I'm not a climber guy, but they've got the lightest climber ever made. And what I liked about it is just coming from like a metal fab and machining background, they made the braces that like the brace that holds like the bars
Yeah.
up from the platform. They like CNC machined out of the platform, so when it folds, it's completely flat.
Oh, it folds into itself.
The entire stand is under 2 inches.
That's whack.
Yeah, like so when it's all folded and on your back, it's like I think it's like 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 or something. Like it's insane.
Wicked thin.
Yeah, and to me that's just impressive that they've come up with that. It's unfortunate that I've seen some other copycats come out literally within a week of them
Almost
releasing that.
instantly.
But it is what it is. Sorry about that, Tom. The viewers love it. But so that's just something I'm interested in checking out.
I'd like to see their broadheads. Obviously, I don't
That's
plan
another
on
thing.
buying them, but I would like to put my hands on them and see them in person.
I'm
Hopefully,
skeptical.
they have some.
I'm sure they will. I'm skeptical mainly because, like, again, from my welding and fabrication background, aluminum's not hard.
No,
I know that they're coated in an aluminum oxide, which
very hard.
very, very hard. But my concern is once you try and sharpen them, like to me,
You're
it
going to
seemed
remove that material that keeps them hard.
yeah. So honestly, what I'm seeing out of these is I don't think it's going to be a long-term use head.
Yeah.
This is just my personal opinion. I don't have any experience with them. This is strictly just an opinion, so take that with what you want. But I think, like a lot of broadheads, people use them once and throw them out.
Mm-hmm.
Something tells me that this is what that's going to turn into. I just don't see them being able to be used time and time again
Yeah.
without losing their sharpness.
But then you got to consider what your price point is. I don't even know what they're selling
They
for.
seem
but-
actually really affordable. I think they're like in that $50 range for a
Yeah.
3-pack.
Mm-hmm.
They're not for sale yet, but that's the
Yeah.
number I've heard thrown around, which is a Rage.
Mm-hmm.
And Rage now comes with 2.
Yeah. What?
Oh, yeah. You used to get like 3 in a practice.
practice,
Now
yeah.
you get, the last time I bought Rage, I think I got 2 broadheads.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
But I'm shooting Annihilators now, so.
Yeah, who
so
cares?
I got.
Those things will last forever.
Yeah, I'm excited with those. So like I said, I think I will give Andre credit. The guy has been an innovator since the 80s. Every product he's come out with until now has been legit. I don't see that this will be anything different. It's just something totally new that I don't really feel like the archery industry has seen before. So I think naturally there's going to be some skeptics, but I just want to check it out. And it seems to me like if you look at the size or like the dimension of the blades and everything, it almost looks like you're going for more of like a chisel point more than like an actual blade, almost like a log grenade. I don't know if you remember those from like Splitting Wood.
No.
You ever
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
yeah.
I think aren't they called like log grenades or whatever?
I always called them a wedge, but
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like to me,
yeah, I know
that's-
what you're talking about.
it's-
I've
it's-
heard
it's got-
both.
it's got very wide blades, almost more like a chisel than it is like a razor blade.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if that's, to just punch through bone. And with today's technology and bows, I think they're carrying enough speed that like they will just rip through. And you don't need like this ultra razor sharp edge. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that. Just
Yeah.
what I'm talking-
Spitballing.
Yeah, I'm just spitballing. But that's really the only things that I'm really like I want to hit before I leave. I do want to. I always enjoy walking through the gun room. There's all sorts of little, components for firearms and stuff.
Yeah.
That I enjoy just checking out. And the exhibitor is always like all the guides are always neat. There's huge. There was a giraffe one year, rhinos, hippos.
That's one thing that I want to look into, because I sent you a picture the other day. Dad and I are going on a mule deer hunt.
Yeah.
It's this year. It's in November, and if we both shoot nice muleys, what I want to do is get them mounted in like a piece together, and I
So you're
want
gonna
to
be taking some brochures.
Yeah, I want to find a taxidermist that's gonna, really make that look cool. I think it'll be awesome.
Who's going to get the piece? Well, you and your dad don't live together, so if you're getting them mounted together,
Yes.
Every 6 months they switch.
No, I think it'll just go up above the bar here.
that would be a sweet look.
Yeah,
Where
up
would
on
the elk go?
Huh?
Where would the elk go?
We'd find a spot for the elk, but I think
A-frame.
it would look cool. Yeah, we'll put the elk at the A-frame. That would be ridiculous.
It would look sweet.
It would. That'd be pretty wild.
There's not much wall space for an elk though. It'd
And I
be,
could do it like
angled
right
down.
on, right above like the fireplace or the wood stove.
Yeah,
That would be nice.
That would
Yeah.
look sweet.
But yeah, I'm excited for that mule deer mount if we both kill muleys. So I want to find someone down there that.
What are you like 160 or better or what?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, somewhere around there, which I think is very doable.
It's doable, but it's a respectable muley.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's like my biggest one that I want to like really pursue while I'm down there, is to find and talk to some taxidermists. Because like I don't really need anything else. It's always fun, like you said, just to go walk around, talk, look at outfitters, and I'm sure you'll look at sheep outfitters, even though you're not
can't
going on a
afford
sheep
them.
hunt.
Oh yeah,
That's half the fun of going.
Yeah, there's the past couple years there's been a booth that has a full body Marco Polo sheep that makes me drool.
Can't just walk past it. You
I
gotta
can't.
stop
No,
and stare.
and yeah, do I pick up a brochure? Yeah, I do. Do I have any plans or finances to cover that hunt? Absolutely not. But I feel like you get
kid
more.
can dream.
You get more out of the guide when you're talking to him. If you grab the brochure, you may kind of make it look like. Because I like hearing the
I think
stories.
he sees a 26-year-old kid come up there, and he's like, "Yeah,
This kid ain't coming.
Maybe I'll wear glasses or like an eyepiece, like a single, like an eyepiece.
Monocle.
Yeah.
There you go. That should probably sell him. He might give you the hunt for free.
wear a suit and then bring a cane with like a marble hand."
And like just have
Thing.
like a few hundreds rolling out of your pocket. Just
Counterfeit ones, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call Tom Jive, and I'm going to tell him to pull the car around before we leave. It's going to work. Maybe I'll get, like you said, free hunt.
Yeah. Could work. But other than the taxidermist, I might buy some arrows while I'm there, because I tried
Gold
to.
tip there.
Lancaster is always there, and they
Lancaster's
always
fly.
have. But I tried to buy some arrows before from Lancaster, and I couldn't believe it. They didn't have them in stock. So I found some different arrows that they do have in stock, and I was gonna order them this evening actually, but I was like, yeah, we're going down to Harrisburg. Maybe I'll get them down while we're down there. So.
Yeah.
So those are the only two things that
They might be running
Neat.
show specials too.
Yeah, a lot of places do that. So those are the two things that I really want to, I'll go to Lancaster, talk to them, find a taxidermist, and other than that, just wander around. I always want to go, and it's not like all the time that they do like the dog shows, like they have the dogs that like jump into the
Yeah.
pools and so I've been there so many times, and I spent the whole 9 days there the one year. I've never once went and watched the dogs, and I've always wanted to, but I've just never done it.
I've never sat in the bleachers and watched the dogs, but I've walked by.
You see them as they're going.
They're like,
yeah.
you just see like this chocolate lab just jumping off a diving board, and it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did one of the really cool seminars I did watch was on predator bird hunting or predatory bird hunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's called falconry, Nick.
Falconry. Sorry, I'm not a
Yeah, you make it sound like
falconist.
we're shooting.
Yeah, we
bald
only
eagles.
shoot hawks and eagles. Go out with 22s and just pop eagles out of the. No, we don't actually do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the falconry. Is it a falconist? The guy that has the bird.
That sounds
Probably.
right.
Yeah, let's go with that. But that was a really
Or a
cool.
falconer. Could be a falconer. Falconist, falconer. Who knows?
Falconologist, the one that studies these birds.
He probably doesn't participate. He's just involved in the study of.
Yeah. I don't know. Leave it in the comments if you know.
Those seminars are always really cool. Dad and I went to a predator hunting one, so we might want to hit up a predator.
Alan Probst. Is that his name?
Yeah.
He's down there doing shows every day on trapping.
Oh yeah.
So if you wanted to hit that up,
Who we seen David Blanton down there? That was pretty
David
cool.
Blanton was
Oh,
that was
yeah?
cool. All the whitetails that they have around that arena,
Yeah.
insane,
Yeah. they
absolutely
are.
insane. Hunt Chef's gonna be down there.
Yeah, it's always cool to go talk to him. He's a good
Yeah,
guy.
Jeremy's a good dude. Great food over at his booth.
Yeah.
You obviously can't get a meal there, but you're gonna get
Get some
delicious samples. I make sure to stop. I usually buy a bottle of seasoning and sample whatever's there because I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, he's a heck of a cook. That guy's pretty sweet.
I want to get his coyote recipe. I don't know if I could cook it myself, but I would love to try it once.
Yeah.
No
Just some of the-
desire.
Yeah, I don't really have the desire to.
I just want to say I tried it,
Yeah, I guess.
but it is eating a dog, so it's like. But he's also got a recipe for rattlesnake too. That would be.
I
good
could
one
get
to
into that one.
I would eat a rattlesnake before I ate a coyote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would too. But anyways, so Frank, that's
yeah,
all
that's
you got.
all. That's all that's on my agenda while we're there.
Tommy, and I know so you got some big things you're looking for while you're down there, right?
Well, I'm honest. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm still up in the air on whether or not I'm going to go.
Wow.
I'm going to have to take a look at what seminars they have going on. Big seminar guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get enough.
They're very worth going to.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of knowledgeable people down there.
So I'll see what they got going on Sunday. See if there's a seminar down there.
Fox Pro has a booth. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that. Wouldn't mind seeing if Rut Daniels is down there. Not gonna lie.
For Frank and I, the first year we were down there, he was Bud Fisher, like him
Not
himself.
in character.
And so that's how he was when we walked by. We went into the archery hall, we came out, and it was Rut Daniels.
He had like a little changing booth in his booth, and would just like switch back and forth. It was hilarious.
Yeah, like throughout the day randomly. Depending on when you walked by, it was either Bud Fisher or Rut Daniels.
Good times.
I'm sure that line was pretty long.
Oh, the line to meet or take
Yeah.
a picture with Rut Daniels was insane.
Yeah,
I would wait it.
be worth it.
Be an hour and a half.
It was a very long line.
Well.
Way longer for Rut Daniels than it was Bud Fisher.
Wouldn't that suck if you were like in line
And then he switched.
yeah, you get right up to the front and then he's like, all right.
I'm sure that happens to several people every day.
Yeah, unfortunate. I didn't even look at the full like gamut of people.
Exhibitor list?
Yeah, exhibitor list. I don't know if he's going to be there or not.
I would imagine. I mean, like I said, it's the biggest outdoor show in the world. Like I can't imagine a company like that wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Then I don't know if it'll be there. The first year I went down there. No, scratch that. That was somewhere else. I was going to say,
Wow.
remember, I think it was at a Cabela's when we went to that casting seminar. That dude had the huge tank.
No, that was at Harrisburg.
That was at Harrisburg.
Yeah, they
that,
bring that huge fish tank that's like a semi truck.
Yeah,
of fish
yeah,
tank.
Yeah, they do that at Harrisburg.
yeah, that's always cool to go
Mm-hmm.
watch. They test out new baits and show you different tactics.
I think
for,
it's insane how they can like hook the fish and unhook
Unhook
the fish. Obviously, I know that they're not barbed, but it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how I like the techniques that he shows you for getting out of a snag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the old bow and arrow trick that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, that does where I've used that a lot.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I always stay out of the fishing hall mostly.
Yeah, that doesn't really get me going.
But I will admit that huge tank, it's very entertaining. If
Yeah,
you
there's
walk
some
by.
monster bass in it.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is.
And I like going to that. There's always good food there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like going to get a bite to eat, walking around, seeing the mounts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not a big outfitter guy, just because I know I'm not big into looking at hunts that I know I'm not going to book.
But here's the thing: a lot of those hunts are done on public, even though you have a guide. So it puts you in an area. That's a pro tip I want to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out where these guys are hunting.
Then you
I'm
go
not-
horn in on their action.
I'm not saying that you're like hunting the same
Yeah.
camp, but Colorado's a huge state.
Yeah.
Filled with public land. Most of it's over the counter. If you can get, it narrowed down to
a few.
10,
yeah.
10 square miles, you're not hunting on top of the guy, but at least it narrowed it. You know, even if you could divide the state into quarters, you know, just give you a ballpark of where to start, you know, because most of them aren't going to tell you the tract that, like, the state forest they're in or whatever. They're going to tell you, oh, we're, you know, southeast Colorado. Like, at least it puts you in an idea of where elk are.
Yeah.
Or where mule deer are, wherever. I think I have to go to Russia for a Marco Polo sheep.
Yeah.
So that really narrows it down.
Yeah, that's a pretty big place.
I do know that most of the hunts start at 14,000 foot of elevation.
Yeah.
So very comparable to the mountains we're snake hunting in. So I've got all that experience. I love making that joke up there.
It's a great joke.
Just at the highest point, we're like 2,000 foot elevation. We're like, oh man, the air is really thin up here. That's why I'm breathing so heavy. So there's no, you're not much of a gear guy at all.
No. I find what works, and
I would
stick
say
with it.
I'm 98% to where there's no new gear that I'm interested in this year.
you'll see something down
Yeah,
there.
Nick's.
I
You
don't-
can't help yourself. You said you were never gonna buy or sell another stand again.
See,
and
that's
that-
not entirely true because I had told you.
It's not entirely false either.
No, but I did tell Frank when I bought my 1.0 and he had his 0.5 and I actually had a 0.5 at one point that I wished they would make a 1.0 that was just the width of the 0.5.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, so I thought, you know, the 1.0 was going to be the last one. And then they came out with the
No, I mean
exact-
since you had your 0.75 that you said is the last stand you'll ever buy, you've been talking about buying more stands since then.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Which ones?
XOPs.
No, I was going to until I looked into them more and saw that they're just knockoffs.
So you're saying I'm not lying?
I talked about it, but I'm not going to do it. Like originally, like before I saw pictures, I was very before I saw pictures and prices,
Yes.
I was very interested in them. And then pictures and prices came out and I retracted how interested I was. So and it wasn't that I planned on switching away from Lone
Yeah.
Wolf. It's just
Trying something new.
my thing is like with the podcast and stuff, there are, you know, I get people asking recommendations on stuff. And a lot of times when I recommend Lone Wolf custom gear, people are like, man, that stuff's expensive. So a lot of my interest in trying stuff is also to give educated opinions to people.
Yeah.
And that is where a lot of it stems from. Cause like I didn't buy this much gear until we started the podcast. Like I had the same bow and tree stand for a decade before we started this.
Yeah.
So like I will admit 110% I love gear. It's just cool to try different stuff, but a lot of it breaks down to when somebody asked for an opinion on stuff, I like to have been able to say, yes, I've tried this or I've used this.
This is what I liked,
And-
disliked.
Yeah, and XOP typically used to be half the price of competitors, so I was excited to be able to give somebody a more like price conscious option. But that wasn't really the case, so I'm not really interested anymore.
Yeah.
Like my thing is if you're going to spend over $400 on a tree stand, spend $500 and get Lone Wolf custom gear.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh, just reminded me. Not that I'm not another one that I'm interested in buying, but just interested in seeing. Lone Wolf Custom Gear is also supposedly releasing a Patriot series of tree stands. Like they've got the DeQuisto series.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what you and
Cody
I
told
run.
us last year that
It was coming.
they were going to drop this new series of stand, and they were going to be done with, you know, making new DeQuisto
the
series
DeQuisto
stands.
series stuff are done.
Yeah.
That's what you and I run. That's like top of the line
Mm-hmm.
tree stands. The Patriots are supposed to be a more budget friendly option, but
Mm-hmm.
still that American made quality.
Yeah.
Transferable lifetime warranty, all that stuff. It just might not be as feature rich. You know, all the like the machining that's done. Like it's like the platform cutout and stuff. That doesn't make it really any more expensive. It's all of the extra machining that they do. So your cables lay flat and there's traction built in and, you know, little spots for stuff to like ports and stuff like that. Like that's all the stuff that makes it so much more expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what they got going on with that too.
Yeah, me too.
But and like I said, it's not something I don't see why would I get a lesser
Yeah.
version of the 0.75. It's like I don't have any interest in that. It's just I
Something
want
cool to see. Yeah.
something cool to see. And then, you know, if somebody asks me about what stand I use and they hear the price, they're like, whoa, geez.
You
You're
can
like,
give
well,
them something comparable at a
yeah.
lesser price.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm interested in. But other than that, yeah, I'm just excited to get down there. And I just enjoy going to Harrisburg each year.
Yeah, me too. It's always a good time down there. See
good
a lot of
energy in the
people.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you put thousands of like-minded people in the same building.
Yeah, it's cool to go talk to people, and you know, the outfitter that I work for is down there, so I'll get to see him. I usually only see him up in Alaska, so I'll get to talk with him a little bit. There's another outfitter down there that I've hunted with before, so it's cool to go talk to those guys, and just seeing people that you don't normally see is a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. I want to thank everybody again for sticking around as long as you have and enjoying our podcast. With that being said, Tom and I seen a ton of deer tonight, and antlers are starting to drop, so you guys know what to do. Get outside.